What is up, everybody? Howdy, traders. How we doing today? It is Steve Tileman here with Trade the Pool, and it is our earnings report special here, starting half an hour before the bell here so we can get in a nice little presentation. We can talk about what we're seeing on a couple names that we're watching closely into the earnings. So today, that's going to be Cisco. The old dot-com bubble giant is coming back in full force, and as we speak, it is putting in a nice candle. But I think I hear a doorbell. Do I? Oh, I apologize. That was just Joe on the backside. Sorry, Joe, you don't have to come on. We will have a co-host join shortly, but for now, we are going to be talking about, like I said, Cisco, dot-com bubble giant is looking to make another run at all-time highs and push on up out through that $100 level. We're going to be watching that one closely, as well as USAR. So this is going to be a really interesting play that I personally, don't have a big position, but I've been following it a long time, and I think it's a really big winner in the long term. And we're going to talk about that as well. So real quickly, we are in a few day trades still. Looks like I'm about to get stopped out of my very last shares of WOK, W-O-K. That was a fun one that we took from $2 average all the way up, sold some into $2.50, into $2.98 after the halt up, into $3.34 after the halt up, and then got back in a little bit at $3, looking like we're about to get stopped out under the base lows at $2.77. No harm, no foul there. Playing with profits, as you like to say. So other trade is MU. That one's looking really pretty to me even now, starting to flag in base after breaking the downtrend line that me and Josh were watching on our stream earlier. So we had some good trades, and we want to get into these earnings on the right foot here. All right, let's hop right into it. How we doing in the chat, by the way? I see Josh Smith, Mr. AK-47 himself. He was nailing those calls on the small caps earlier today. TDIC, absolute bottle rocket. The WOK, it was talking. And we had one other one. What else do we have? I don't know. We took some good trades. It was a good time. What's up, Namso Gun? Let's go indeed. Let's go. And don't forget, before we jump into it, we have a daily earnings challenge, guys. You can be trading with us quite soon. In just a couple days, if you win, we're going to be giving out, let's see, I believe, is it a 25K account? I believe it's something good. So you guys got to click that link. You got to guess the price that we are going to settle at on. I believe it is Cisco and USAR. Might just be Cisco. Let me double check on that. But bottom line is free stuff, guys. That's the best price, right? So that's what we're going to be working with here. What's up, Nigel? Good to see you in here, man. Really glad that you are sticking around. So, gonna glance at the trades, just make sure they're doing okay. Looks good to me. Whenever a stock's just dancing on my stop out, just flirting with it, always makes me want to look at it. But watch pots never boil. So let's get into the report, guys. All right. So we have, like I said, two companies reporting after the bell that we're watching closely in Cisco and USA Rare Earth, USAR. So they're very different stocks and very different stories, but we're going to walk through the setup for both. And by the end, you'll know exactly what numbers we should be watching for tonight. So big picture, here's the thread that's kind of connecting both names. Each company is going to be going through is going through a major transformation, and the market's already priced in the assumption that those transformations are going to succeed. So Cisco's trying to shed its identity as a hardware company and become an AI infrastructure company. So the obviously the multiples that those carry, much nicer than just the hardware side. So they want that big AI boost, which, I mean, don't get me wrong, they've been seeing it already, but they want more. They want to break out of this all-time high range and this $100 level that it was playing with all the way back in 2001. I do believe it was, yeah. It's been a while. So if you look at it like that, it's been basing under this level for, 25 years. Probably good for some more if they can execute. So on the other side, we have USA Rare Earth. So they're trying to become the Western world's answer to China's domination in the rare earth supply chain. Both are bets on next decade's geopolitical and technological reality. And tonight's prints are going to really help confirm or challenge those bets. So if either company shows execution delays, the market's going to punish them hard. And that's because the current valuations already assume that everything's on the right track. And for the traders out there, I just stopped out on WOK. Stopped out on WOK there at 275. Hey, that's okay. Entry was, at least first entry was very, very cheap at $2. All right, let's get back on track as MU looking like it's breaking out. Real quick for anybody in this trade with me, I'm going to be trimming just a little bit off the top at 810. Notable volume there. Going to be taking a little more at the high of the day, and then I'm going to be letting the rest cook as a swing trade into tomorrow. Let me see. Let me answer one message real quick here. Okay, all right, back into the good stuff, guys. All these tabs. Where's my report? Whoa. Hello, Mr. Joe. Hey, how you doing, man? Oh, got to do the old mic shuffle there.
Oh, hey, how about now?
Oh, perfect. Loud and clear, brother. How you doing, man?
Doing good. Good to be back.
Yes, sir.
Back in the fray.
Back in the saddle once again, Florida Joe. Well, I missed you, man. We haven't had enough one-on-one time ever since I've been doing all those things, hopping around everywhere. So this is perfect for me. I'm loving it.
Yes, sir. Looking
All right,
forward
let's
to
get
it.
back.
All right.
Okay, getting back into it here. So we talked about the thread connecting these and how they're essentially both bets on next decade's geopolitical and technological realities, right? We need rare earths. That's not going to change. That's going to continue to grow. China's not giving any up. It went from us 5 years ago laughing at China going, what are they doing? Hoarding all of these rocks. That's not a very smart idea. Now we're going, please, China, please let us have some so that we can use them in wars against your allies. I'm not seeing them budging on that. So I think we need to figure out our own stuff on the Western side. I think USAR is a great answer to that. So that's the narrative. We got to see if they can perform, though. Going on to our next slide here. That's a chart. That's a chart. That's what my portfolio looks like. That's my profit loss, Joe. Just like that. I'm kidding.
Yeah, that's bad.
Maybe if you flip the screen. Nah, just kidding. So what we got here is Cisco. And it is wild. All right, so right now it's sitting at right about $100, just a bit over it right now, up about 1.5% on the session. That's sitting at right about 27% on the year. Here is the context for that move. Cisco added roughly $100 billion in market cap over just the past year, and the thesis driving that is a $5 billion AI order book. So hyperscalers like Microsoft, Google, Amazon, they're all buying Cisco's networking equipment to build out their AI data centers. Cisco's Silicon One G300 chip, which runs at 102.4 terabytes per second. That sounds fast. I don't know if it's fast. Sounds pretty fast. That's becoming the backbone of their infrastructure. So that's the bull case. Here's what bears are thinking. The bear story is looking like this. We got this legacy plumber, little label on the bottom left. And Cisco still gets a lot of revenue from old school campus networking gear, the switches and the routers that the companies use in offices, stuff like that. That business is declining. It's not 2001 anymore. You know, we don't care about your modems. We want to know what you're doing to power these AI data centers. The question tonight is whether the AI story is growing fast enough to cover for that decline. Spoiler alert, market says yes. Will we get confirmation tonight? Let's find out. So when a stock is described as priced to perfection, you'll hear me saying that a lot because so many of these AI names are priced to absolutely continue to ramp up in all of these ways that they are doing so excellently and up to these points. So it leads to a lot of prints where people are so sure that there's going to be a pullback, even if they come in line, and then they do pull back a little bit, but then they scream higher because everybody wants to get into this trade. It is not slowing down, guys. I know everybody's saying it's a bubble, but I see the biggest bubble in people calling bubbles. And that's a shout out to Elliott Capital on Twitter there. I saw that. I was like, that hits. That resonates. Everybody's sure it's a bubble, but yeah, these stocks go higher. And if you compare, SPY's, like just even their PE to back in 2001, it is not that stretched right now, believe it or not. They can keep going. I wish they'd give us more dips. Right, Joe?
Yeah, buy the dips, sell the rips right now. I've heard a lot of people, just adding on dips, and they are not wrong right now. So,
And since we were just talking about China real briefly, Talk's bringing up something interesting in the chat. The White House wants to open China up to U.S. companies. Seems like the thesis that I've been cooking that Xi has been currying. He's been building up a lot of leverage in the past year with how China has navigated the tariff results. We have not. How would I say this? They're doing okay. They're exporting more than they were at the start of these. They've eaten those tariffs and they've come to the table looking for solutions that benefit, of course, them, but I think that are going to be better for both of us. And one of those could be, like Talk's saying, we want to connect these markets to a larger degree. It does seem. Overall, I'm just really bullish China. I look at the valuations on some of these guys like Baba. You're getting a pretty darn good company. I mean, this is an AI hyperscaler, just the Chinese version of like a Google or an Amazon or something. You're getting them at a fraction of the cost in terms of multiples. Does that come with geopolitical risk? Absolutely. But I think that is overpriced. And in my trading career, Joe, that's been one of my best angles. I like calling BS on political risk premium that gets priced into stocks because there's always more fear, especially with Western markets, I find, than actually plays out in these. Like, Joe, I've been buying Colombian oil companies, Brazilian oil companies, all this stuff for years and years when everybody's saying it's uninvestable. They double and then they give you 30% in dividends. That seems pretty investable to me. So I'm looking for more of these types of plays in the Chinese space. Keeping it simple, KWeb I think is a great bet, but I'm getting sidetracked. We're not talking China, at least not directly here. So I just wanted to put that on people's radars there. Is TDIC still going? I see my profit loss on my only open trade right now in MU just climbing.
Oh
So
yeah,
that
that sucker it hit 30 just a few minutes. I'm sure Josh is going to be telling us about the 30 banger that he got.
wait,
So
TDIC hit 30?
yeah, TDIC high
Whoa,
looks like a
what?
high of maybe 30
Oh my goodness gracious. I
close
was
to it.
about to tag in when he said it looked good when we were on stream right before it popped, and that was at 576. I, hand to God, was gonna get in, and then it popped, and I said, okay, I'll be good. I won't chase it. I won't chase it. But that is a
Yeah,
wild move
that's
that
a
I'm seeing
wild
there.
move.
Oh, and of course, Walk stopped me out, and now it's halted up again at the 3 level. Classic. Whatever. Let's get back to the presentation. What a wild day in the
Yeah.
markets, though.
Yeah, sure thing. And hey, hello to everybody out there, Nigel, Tack, and Coach. I see you in there. Uh, Mind Music Muscle. Love that name.
That's Uncle Chris. You haven't met Uncle Chris?
Oh, is
He's
it?
new.
Oh, that's
He's
Chris.
he's new, but
Hey,
we love him already. We got a nickname for him
there,
and
brother.
everything. Good stuff. Good stuff. Josh, I know you're popping around back there. Absolute golf clap for you, my friend. This
Yeah.
is above and beyond. Are you still holding any? Where'd you get out? If you're in chat, let me know. But getting back to the presentation, guys. Sorry, I'm a little distracted. A little distracted. So where were we? We were talking about Cisco and whether or not they can make this transition. Let's go into this a little bit deeper here. So this slide's going to show Cisco's 3 main business segments and the direction each is headed. We've got, am I on the wrong slide? I'm on the wrong slide. There we go. We've got networking down 8% year over year. That's old school hardware business. So we're talking Ethernet switches, we're talking routers for office buildings. It's boring. We don't care about that. Let's be real. We don't care. This is the legacy plumber problem. So enterprises already bought this stuff. They're still using what they have and they're not upgrading it. So on top of that, Cisco's competing against Arista Networks and NVIDIA for the AI data center networking business. So the key metric tonight is going to be, is the 4 billion in AI is the 4 billion AI hardware target for 2026 actually showing up as real revenue, or is this just going to be backlog? So then in terms of security and observability, we're looking at up 20 to 25% year over year, and that's the good part. The Splunk acquisition, such a funny company name, Splunk acquisition. So Cisco bought Splunk for 28 billion last year, and that's accelerating this segment. Splunk is every time I say it, I laugh. Splunk is a data monitoring and security platform. More companies using AI means more data to monitor and more attack surfaces to protect. Sorry, I'm getting lit up by notifications here because, okay, my MU profit did just hit. Very, very nice there. We like that. And you know what? I took a bath on 2 trades today. MRAM absolutely bombed out on me, and I averaged in twice, Joe. you know what? Still at the high of the day on equity curve because Micron is a beast. So what I got to
Nice.
do next time is stop trading other stuff. That's what I'm learning. Where was I? Where was I? Oh my goodness! I just closed my notes and I see this giant ramp on MU on that chart. That looks beautiful. I think we smashed the high today. That's where I'm taking my last take profit, at least for now. Getting back into this last part here. So let's talk about the collaboration. That's flat. So that's going to be like their video conferencing products, and you have Microsoft Teams and Zoom basically just dominating that market. The segment's a headwind, it's not a tailwind. So just worth noting that really we're focusing on this AI stuff in general. Let's talk risk. Let's talk risk factors here. So, 2 tailwinds, 3 headwinds. First, the tailwinds. The Splunk integration, they're targeting 1,000 new customers by year end. And Cisco made another acquisition called Galileo, and that's going to expand their AI monitoring capabilities, specifically for managing AI model deployments. So both of these are pieces of software that kind of shift their story in a bullish way for sure. Going into the headwinds, though, so the U.S. government IT shutdown. The federal government has been operating on continued resolutions rather than a full budget for, I don't know, feels like my whole life. I don't know. The freezes that is going to freeze IT procurement. Sorry. Cisco sells a lot of that, a lot to the government, and those deals are on pause. So that is a sign for concern. We'd like to see some clarity going forward, but of course, it's contingent on our government. So good luck there. And let's talk about the balance sheet drag as well. So that 28 billion acquisition of Splunk, that was financed with debt. So Cisco's still servicing that debt, which is eating into net income. It's not a bad thing to spend debt on acquisitions as long as they play out and you can execute on those acquisitions. So that's going to be the name of the game today. One more headwind to put on your radar, the ECRA controls. That's the Export Control Reform Act. And that's going to put restrictions on what AI hardware Cisco can even sell in Asia. So that limits the total addressable market for their AI networking products in a major growth region. China's on the way up. Buy some K-Web. Not financial advice. Just saying. Now, going into the options setup on Cisco. Let's talk about it. So this slide's talking about the options market, like I said, and just a real quick explanation if any of this is new to you. So when you buy an option, what you're paying for, or part of what you're paying for, is uncertainty. It's the possibility that a stock moves a lot before that expiration. The technical term for that is implied volatility, or you'll hear people say IV. And the higher that IV is, the more expensive the options are. So before earnings, options always get expensive because the market knows a big move's coming, right? So they're going to be kind of juiced in both directions. The bulls are going to want to buy those calls and gamble. The bears are going to want to buy their puts and gamble. That runs up the IV and makes the contracts more expensive. The moment the number drops and uncertainty is gone, that IV is going to collapse. What is it? It was, I think, Joe, was that JFK? Sorry, I don't know why I'm asking you because you're old, I guess. Was that JFK? You said we have nothing to fear but fear itself?
I believe it is.
Okay,
I
sorry.
believe it is.
You come on and help me out. Now you're catching strays. I'm sorry, Joe. I love you.
That's good.
But yeah.
Brushing up on your history there.
Exactly. Back way before my time. Way before my time. Anyways, he said fear's the scary thing. Once we know what's going on, everything becomes more manageable. We start to find a way to chart our course through it. It's the unpredictability that scares the markets. They want to be able to project forward. So that's why earnings always crush on a print. Just happens. So before earnings, like I said, they always get more expensive because that big move. And then the collapse, that's the IV crush, and that's a trap for inexperienced options traders. And that's just why I trade the pool. We keep it simple, guys. Just pick long or short. It's so much easier. Don't buy something that could go up and down 5 times before you have a chance to exit in the next cash session. If you're trading shares, you get the leverage with the options to get out, no pun intended, options to get out where you choose. So big benefit there. And the amount of times, Joe, that I've seen a move go to the target that we're all looking for, either after hours or in the pre-market session before, and then wash out to a level that's really underwhelming by the time the actual options market opens. I mean, if I had a nickel, I'd have enough to buy some juiced IV options on Cisco today, It really is a big deal that you can sell after hours and pre-market for these kinds of trades. Mm-hmm. So that's just where we're at here. But what I wanted to show you about these what the heck am I talking about? These options is that, well, first off, Cisco's IV is in the 94th to 100th percentile. That means options are about as expensive as they ever get for the stock. It makes sense. It's a big beat or a big print and a big beat that we're expecting. So that options market is pricing in essentially a 7.5% move in either direction. And that's going to work out to like 750 in either direction. Oh, nice and easy. We're at 100, right? I was like, that doesn't seem right. Yes, it is. Steve can do basic math. So the market expects Cisco to be somewhere between roughly 93 and 108 after this print. The other important detail on this slide is that the options or the open interest bar, that's a big bar. So almost all of the open interest on, over 11,000 contracts is concentrated on that $100 call strike. That means a massive number of people are betting on a move above 100. If the guidance doesn't support that thesis, all of those call holders will sell at once, adding downside pressure. So the slide on the right shows the cycle. Retail bids the stock up on the AI rumors preprint. Cisco's beaten EPS 15 consecutive quarters, so everybody's expecting strong numbers. But week forward guidance is what triggers that algorithmic selling, and that's the setup to watch there. So let's talk price targets. Price targets. Keeping it pretty simple to the upside, 110, right around the 108 projected move, and that's the bull case, right? So from Evercore, the thesis is that Cisco successfully makes the AI transition, Splunk adds margin, and the multiple expands further. The bear case is $65 from consensus. So the bear thesis is that this is a value trap and the legacy business is going to keep shrinking, diluting that EPS and sending it into the nether realms, wiping away this year's amazing gains that are off the back of its AI infrastructure narrative. So that is going to be what we're looking for there. Personally, I don't see this consensus bear target going to hit. I don't think so. I think we maybe get a small dip and then end up higher in a week or so. But that's just because that's what we have been seeing on these names. This could set the stage for a potential character change in that narrative. So in terms of what we want to listen to on the call, here are the top 5 monitorables. Number 1, AI hyperscaler conversion. What's the actual timeline looking like for that 5 billion in AI orders? 5 billion AI order book, I should say, turning into a recognized revenue. Backlog is not revenue. We want to see that actual revenue. Number 2, Splunk. Let's see. So we want to look at essentially the ARR, which is the annual recurring revenue. So that's the predictable subscription-based revenue that Splunk brings. That's why they acquired them. And we want to look at how many new Splunk logos are actually closing versus how much is still going on. I'm sorry. What am I reading? I don't know. We're going to the next point because all I really meant to say was I want to watch that annual recurring revenue. And that kind of steady growth to their EPS is really going to help bridge the gap, as we're talking about, from that legacy plumbing into this new AI hardware space. Number 3, gross margin defense. So does Cisco have pricing power against all of these factors like rising memory costs, or are hardware sales compressing those margins? Number 4, we're looking at the public sector recovery. So what's the status on those delayed federal contracts? Is there any sign of the procurement freeze thawing? I don't know if we will get anything definitive on this, but hey, if we do, that would be a really good sign. Number 5, and the last one here, the Silicon One G300 adoption. So is Cisco's custom AI networking chip winning deals against the NVIDIA Spectrum X? So these are going to be what we're looking for on that call. And moving on. We have 5 minutes till the print, so I will hustle up a little bit. I want to talk a little about USAR here real quick. I will speed through this. So USAR it's a completely different animal from the Cisco. Standard valuation metrics really don't apply here in the same way. So this slide says it pretty plainly. The PE ratios, they're irrelevant. It really isn't what moves the stock. So here's the setup. They've experienced a massive 173% gain in the past year, and a lot of that in the past month. The company has about a $5.7 billion market cap, despite losing $59 million in operations last year. So the math only works if you believe the story being paid for here is far bigger than the current financials. Spoiler alert, I sure think it is, but I'm a little biased. So the story is this. China controls more than 90% of the processing capacity for these rare earth magnets, specifically NDFEB. And those are, I don't know what the heck that is. there's some type of magnets, I believe neodymium, yeah, neodymium iron boron. I'd be lying to you if I knew that before this presentation yesterday. But what I do know is that magnets are very important to a number of industries, specifically in the aerospace and defense sector. So you got this double tailwind for these companies that are producing this stuff because China ain't letting it go and geopolitical tensions are absolutely heating up. So everybody needs a stockpile, and my German Shepherd's running down the stairs. Let me close my door.
Hey, there he goes. And we want to again say thanks for everybody joining. Going to give the mic back to Steve here since he's doing such an excellent job. I think we need your mic back there, Steve, maybe?
That would probably help. Thank you for letting me know. This is why we need you, Joe. I mean, and all of the stuff. You're the wizard that makes everything work. You're the glue. All right. So getting on into it, we got 3 minutes till we start getting into this good stuff here. Here's the story. China controls more than, like I said, I already read that part. So controlling the exports, what am I saying? Export controls are forcing the US government to pretty directly intervene and fund domestic alternatives, right? USAR is the primary recipient of that intervention through something called Project Vault. And that's going to be a $12 billion federal initiative that essentially turns USAR into a quasi-government sponsored enterprise. Guys, we like socialism for our stocks because it makes them do intel things. So if USAR catches that same narrative, you might be looking back at USAR under $30, sitting here going, man, why didn't I buy that? Listen to Steve describe this bullish narrative. I don't know. I'm not saying buy it now. I'm saying I'm watching the print, and I would be willing to add in. Let's see. Going on here. What was I talking about? I was starting to think about the Intel chart. That was the best trade for last year, and man, I sold early. Oh well. On to the next year. So getting really quickly into a few other aspects of this presentation and USAR as a company, let's talk about the supply chain here. So the map shows the 4-part supply chain that USAR is building. First, you have, what they're trying to do is become fully vertically integrated, mine to magnet, as they say. So from digging the minerals out of the ground to producing the finished magnets like for OEMs like Ford and Lockheed, the things that they can actually use, right? They're a one-stop shop. The Site 1 is Round Top, Texas. This is the actual mine. 328 parts per million of recoverable heavy rare earth elements are pulled out of there. Right now, it is in the, we can call it definitive feasibility study phase. So that's the formal technical and economic study that you need to do before you can break ground on a commercial production. So the target here is commercial production in 2028. Not too far off, but of course still forward looking. Site number 2, Serra Verde in Brazil. They acquired this for $2.8 billion, and it provides oxide feedstock. So that needs, there's the bell. That's essential in the processing of these rare earth materials. So this helps bridge the gap immediately in supply while Round Top is still being developed. And this is this is the critical near-term piece, and I think we'll be hearing a lot about this one on the call. The other 2 sites that we haven't mentioned yet, Less Common Metals from the UK. So this is going to be 10,000 tons per year of processing capacity, and they're working around Chinese IP embargoes on the specific metallurgical processes that are used to refine those rare earths. Last site is in Stillwater, Oklahoma, and that's the magnet manufacturing facility. So currently they're doing metallurgical qualification, and that's testing their that their production meets the specs required for major OEM customers. So those are a little bit about the fundamentals there. Let me just speed run this. This pie chart is a pie chart. It shows where the USAR shares come from, and it tells you a lot about the ownership structure. So 126.8 million shares went to the Serra Verde acquisition. Those sellers got USAR stock instead of cash. So we are talking 70 million shares that were issued in a PIPE, which is a private investment in public equity. And that's when institutional investors buy stock directly from the company at a set price. And in this case, it was $21.50 per share. So that's also makes it a notable level technically. And that was good for raising 1.5 billion. So 33.7 million shares and warrants went to the US government as equity. That sounds good. Sounds like Intel. The current reality is the consensus revenue of 3.6 million for Q1 It is that the consensus revenue is 3.6 million for Q1, with a TTM cash burn of about 95 million, give or take. Yeah, some change. Quarterly operating expenses sitting at 13 to 15 million. So the 2030 dream is that they would have 2.6 billion in projected revenue, sitting around 1.85 EBITDA, 900 million free cash flow. That's the target for the stock that it's being valued against. The question tonight is whether USAR is on track to hit those milestones or whether it's falling behind. I could keep going, Joe, but I think that's enough to get us in here. How you feeling? Feeling good?
Yeah, feeling good. Let's get to those charts.
Awesome. Would it be possible for you to pull those up so I don't completely cook my computer? Otherwise, I can shut down a bunch of stuff, but it'll take a second.
Yeah. Tell you what, let me
No worries. You're in the same boat as me, so let me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. I got you. I appreciate you stepping in here. Let me do a little one of these. Get a look behind the curtain. Those are my notes. You don't need to see those. But here we go. We see charts. Excellent. So Cisco right here already pushing up pretty strongly here. We have a nice volume shelf sitting at 102 to 101.60. That's the first kind of intermediate shelf that we can watch for interaction with, just to get a little hint. But really, it's all about that print. So, Joe, if you could be on the lookout for Twitter, maybe. I'm going to have a little trouble managing all of this.
Yeah, sure thing.
We're going to get there. Oh, also, by the way, Saved by the Bell. Thank you, Trade the Pool, for taking me out of this trade with 10 minutes left at the mock candle because the mock was a sell. The mock, remember, market on close orders. That is essentially, if you want to make a big buy or a big sell, you need to do it by a certain time of the day, and then it is reported in the last 10 minutes, essentially, and you will see the stock market move based on that. So there was a net sell on Micron, and as you can see, oh yeah, we carved it up. We got long here. We started tranching out short, sold a little bit here just in case, bought a little more, started averaging in, started selling those averages. Tried to buy this, it didn't work, but you know what? We bought the dip again because it backtested the breakout again. Sold. Bought because I'm greedy. Sold. Good trading on MU there today. Now we can get back to what we're actually talking about. USAR and Cisco. First move down for USAR off that 2550 level. And I'm also going to pull up some higher time frame charts here as well so we can get some higher levels going on. In general, remember we have that 2150 level to the downside. If we do wash out, that's an area that I'd be interested in looking. 2150 is the 50-day moving average. I'll pull this full screen right there. And you can also see how it was a clear break point. See that? Resistance into support. So if it comes back down again, we would expect it to be supportive. That being said, if this thing can really smash these earnings, what we've been seeing in the past week is really tight consolidation. Joe, what do you think? Do you think this could be a little cup and handle action here on the daily?
Yeah, it could be.
Might just be. And remember, we look for this type of move for the base. And then...
Yeah, I like this pullback here, and I don't want to see it drop below that level.
Absolutely. So a few other levels to note, Joe. We have 2432. This is a low volume node. It also aligns with our yellow 21-day moving average there. Also probably a little level right about there. So this is an area of empty space where it can fall through. But down here is where the support starts again. So it could undercut this 21, and then you could buy the reclaim or so, and then look for it to navigate back up into these high volume strikes where it wants to live. So that is what I'm seeing in terms of the levels to the downside to watch in particular there. To the upside, of course, we have the top of the range at 28.65. If this does surge, I would expect it to sweep towards these all-time highs at 30 and some change. We got the top wick there. So there is your little range. We're going to keep this daily chart up here. And oh my goodness, I think we missed Cisco results because that's a big candle.
There we go.
Reported in the last minute. USAR also eating this gap so far. So let me see. I'm going to buy one share of USAR just because I think that it's going to go up and I want to have something on the tape here. I'm in. Cisco giving it all back, testing the breakout level. Is this a hold and a buy? If I was faster, I might have tagged in there. I will try. We'll see if they'll give it to me. They probably won't. We'll go up just a little bit at 103.30. Just if we get a little wick down with the move up, we would put a stop right under that low of the wick. And remember, this is risky trading, guys. This is not for the faint of heart and not for your own cash. We are in Cisco at 103. Currently up a tiny bit. I do not know where this will go. This is gambling, folks, but we're having fun, right, Joe?
Heck yeah, heck yeah. And we got a double beat on Cisco there with their earnings
Beautiful.
coming in, revenue and EPS. Revenue beating at 1.78% and EPS at 6% beat.
Beautiful. Well, that was a really nice entry on our part, huh? We got the little wick back right into this area. I said, hey, I'll give it a little more. I wanted it right at 102.75. We got in 103.50. Currently looking like we're going to push up and out the top. I'm not
I'm
going to get
liking that.
greedy, Joe.
I'm liking
I'm
that
not getting
entry.
greedy. It's pretty clean, and I think this does have room. All right, let me know. Right now I have the take profit at 110. I would expect some pullback there. Looks strong, though.
Pretty strong. It's got to keep holding here.
All right, how about this? I put it at 111. See if it overshoots tags, and then I get back in at 110 to see if it wants to base out there. I think what I might be doing is what we like to call in my server,
Here we go with
kick
110.
folding. All right, let's see where the sellers
110.11,
are.
110.19. Let's get up
Ready
there
to
and
mark
hold.
it out if it fails on me. Let's get a push, little top wick into the 110. I'm getting out there. Oh, it's a market. I cannot do that. Whoops.
That's
Silly
right.
me. You can't place market after hours. Let's cancel that and pray a little bit. Just kidding. Fill me. We will see. We will see. There we go. All right. Nice clean trade. Now, if it comes back, okay, now it can squeeze higher. That's fine. That's fine, Cisco. You win. If it comes back to the previous push high, I'll get another share. We're just having fun here. Still waiting for this USAR print. And coming back into the base at 25.40. I just want to test her share. I just want to test her share to see what's going up. But hey, congratulations if you caught the little Cisco move there. So far, we have popped the collar on our expected move. And this thing is quite a powerful trade there. Not too shabby. Oh my goodness, we missed out on $3. Literally, because it was one share. I will sleep okay at night, Joe, but I hope you guys caught a little piece of this and maybe held. So far, we caught a 7% move so far, sitting up 10%. Not too bad, exceeding that expected move there. We got Mr. Kyle in the chat saying, wow, yeah, that's a big one, right? And we've been seeing a lot of lack of follow through. I'm also seeing USAR starting to base out here. It's trying. If this is anticipation of a big beat, I'd like to get in. This is a fine price, $25.50. It doesn't really matter to me personally because I'm gambling. But if I were to be really with my cash account saying where is my optimal level to buy, then we'd be looking at those moving averages for a dip back. Because honestly, I don't do well buying breakouts right on earnings because I usually wait for that post-earnings gap setup where it gaps up and it starts to consolidate. Moving averages come up underneath it, and then I can buy off of that and limit my risk on a stock with a new cohort of very bullish participants. Just buying it straight off the bat, it's tough for me. I have to have a lot of conviction in the company, and then usually I'm in before from a lower price and still trimming into the earnings print. So that being said, I like to buy dips on earnings. If the earnings report seems good, it's always a risk because sometimes I mess up just like the algos and I read it too fast. I don't get the key points and I miss the main point, So always a risk when you're playing very fast with these algos. But in general, buying on a small dip on good earnings results is a great way to get yourself into a stock that you want to be in with confirmation of the narrative and just kind of avoiding that extra song and dance, the extra, like FOMO that a lot, was kind of contributing to a premium that maybe it didn't deserve at the moment, even though it's destined to go up much higher. So that would be kind of like that price to perfection setup that we're talking about there. Let me get out of this daily chart and see if the candles are a moving yet. We got filled on our second share of USAR. We're in, boys. If I was sitting at any size here, then I would essentially put a stop under 25. I am expecting that stop to get ran before a real move happens. Wicking down to 25 and then catching would be decent. So let's put another share order in down there just for funsies, guys. Why not? And yeah, in the chats here, Naji, you caught that scalp? Wait, it's back? Cisco? It's still up. Maybe this was before. I don't know. Either way, pretty spicy move there. What else we got? Any y'all in the chat trading this? What are you trading? What's going on? There's another earnings play that I do want to talk about, even though we don't have it on the report as well. And by the way, we got an earnings giveaway. If anybody missed it when we got on stream, we are giving away a trading account for anybody who guesses the closest to the closing price. Where is price going to settle on, I believe, Cisco and USAR today? So be sure to place your bets, guys. Don't miss out on free money because it's the best kind. The best kind. Tyler's done for the day. Just watching. Good stuff. Good stuff. Nigel's just learning. I love that. I love that too, man. Because you know what? This is not for beginners. I'll be honest. It's not for beginners, Joe. I don't like doing it, and I'm not a beginner. So
Oh yeah, yeah.
it scares me.
Earnings, I mean, they'll take it with the low share size and have fun with it. That's the thing. And why not trade with another person's capital? Come on over to trade the pool.
Absolutely, Joe. There's something I like to say. When a chart looks good, but I don't want to place that bet, I go, that looks great for somebody else's money. I'd place that with your money, Joe.
Yeah.
So place it with our money. Come on, have some fun. Live a little. Come on.
That
Cisco.
would be the small amount, Steve.
Small account Steve. Is that my new nickname? That is true. I trade with a small account because I know myself. I can flip a small account quite quickly. If I have a big account, I'm gonna maybe make a mistake eventually. And I'd rather just keep pulling that money out of the market, gambling with a little bit and keeping the ball rolling. So again, works great for trade the pool because I pay $200 for an account or something. Not even. And then I get a payout. That's $2,000 right there. Easy money. Well, not easy money, but hard-earned money.
Your ROI is spectacular. I mean, really,
exactly.
if you really think about it, what you put into these accounts and what you can get out, the return on investment is pretty unbelievable.
Well, it
And
does
that challenge.
seem,
I was going to say real quick too, that earnings stream giveaway challenge with the link in the sidebar chat. We got that over there. That is a giveaway. And also, don't forget to go. Oh! Look at who.
Hey.
Look who
All
came
right.
in.
There he is. There's our man.
We got to get that mic. Get that mic going there. Get that.
I could almost hear you because you're so animated. Came in with a woo pig suit.
Hear it.
Let's go T-D-I-C-T-D-I-C-T-D-I-C-T, Dick. I said T, Dick. Give me a T, give me a D, give me an I, and give me a C. Your way all the way to 30, baby. Woo!
Josh, amazing. But I gotta ask, how long were you practicing that song and dance there? Was that what you were doing while you were watching stream? Because that was good.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. No, that is what you call improving right there, my friend. That if I practiced that and that was something I routined, I hope to gosh you guys know that I am the worst dancer and singer of all time. Let me tell you something right now. That was an amazing run, though. I, of course, got liquidated at the closing bell right around 21, 22. 30 points.
You only
Do what?
Forex? You only Forex your money? Come on, man.
Yeah, you know. And I thought about, because I only had one share left, so I was like, I'm going to take it into liquidation. Thought about selling it in the 30, or when it hit the 30 mark, when it was in the 27, 28, 29 area. Probably should have. Doesn't really matter. It was only really one share, so a few dollars are left on the plate. But I've got my P&L up. 387 entry, and we're talking about the last scale outs at 643, 656, 701, into the 11s, into the 15s, all the way up into the 20s. Oh my. Hey, we're on it earlier. We are all over this for you guys. So, Jack, what we doing? Nigel, how we doing? Tyler Smith had to jump in real quick. Taquito, all you guys over here. I was in at 387. Go back and watch our live stream from the day. Freaking Steve was killing. What was your play, Steve? Now that I forgot all about your play.
Was cooking it up in the walk, brother. I was cooking it up in the walk.
Right. He was walking it up, right? Walking it up, literally walking it up all the way from 2, all the way almost up to 4. I got TDIC earlier at 387. It really wasn't doing much, so we weren't looking at it. And everyone's probably like, yeah, Josh, you're in at 387. We got it, TDIC, sure, whatever. And then TDIC pulls a freaking supernova move and rips all the way on up. Great fun lunch recap that we had earlier. BEA Udable. He's a Razorback, that's right. Woo, Pig Suey. And thank you, Forta Joe, for stepping on the after hour stream here. I didn't know if anyone joined Steve. I got that message earlier. I was in a one-on-one. I was like, oh, yeah. So Steve, you got someone that you can always rely on. And if it's not me, I promise you, he is the saint, the angel, the architect, as we like to call him. This name's Forta Joe.
Yeah, that deserves a little razzle dazzle there. I don't know what we'd be doing with Joe, but we'd be probably streaming to 4 people, and
we'd be in a van and a box or whatever down by the river.
There we go.
By the river.
Oh
Oh
man.
man. I just want to jump in though real quickly. I know you guys are doing a heck of a job, so I'll step right back off like I stepped back in. But TDIC, mwah, mwah, mwah. And again tomorrow, TDIC is going to be on high watch. Now it could be a crazy sell-off, but I promise you this: TDIC is going to bring some fun tomorrow, and maybe even obviously overall back to the small cap space. You look at woke walk, right? We were walking it up. That had some fun moves over the last 2 or 3 days. You have TDIC now just hit $34 on the day. Look for small caps to bring maybe some firepower back. Where I thought we were really dying on off, and we really typically were, besides WOK. This play is moving, really, hopefully, bring some life back into the small cap market for all you small cap traders. So I just want to step in real quick. I saw the big move. I said, man, I got to step on and talk about the beautiful play we had for the day. But yeah, Florida Joe, Steve, I'll let you guys get back to it and cover some earnings. Nigel, how we doing? Loving the love. Tyler, Taquito, Nigel, Bill in chat, everyone else out there. Joe's got you covered. Steve's got you covered. And don't forget to sign up for their freaking giveaways. 5K eval, 20 week. We're just giving stuff away over here. Then you can what? Then you can go trade here with Trade the Pool and trade stuff like TDIC and get the banger moves, baby. I'm stepping out. I'm walking away to another in my life. I'm walking away. Love you guys. See you later.
See ya.
What an exit from our man Josh. Had to come in, collect them flowers, and well earned, well deserved. Absolutely killing it today.
This thing's still
I'm not
running
salty that I didn't get in. No. What a move. Absolutely crazy barn burner there. And it's not done. It's currently sitting at 34. It's up $4 since Josh got on here yapping. It's still going. He can't stop the dang thing. So look for this one into the 40 level if it can surge over the 35, 36. That's the 1.6 extension there, 36, and the 200% measured move of this recent little base that it's already pushing on out of in the 5-minute flag, 39.58, and not a bad target because Bulls got bears by, I don't know, by the neck, something. They got them by something, and they're not letting go. USAR, on the other hand, it's hanging out. It's trying to absorb shares at the 25. We talked about some levels below. I'm going to start putting some dream orders in down here. If it gets to 23, I want some. If it gets to 21.50, I want a lot. A lot for me. Let's do 10 and 20. Play it nice and easy. Nice and easy peasy. These are wish orders. I don't necessarily think they're going to fail, but if they do, I'll play it. I'll play it. We got some wiggle room on the tape today with our wins. Meanwhile, Cisco. Joe, I said it looked strong, but I am a wimp. I'm a wimp with 1 share. If anybody's in this, it looks still very strong. And what you can do, you can just slap your stop under each of these little consolidations. So moves up. What I should have done was nothing. What I did do was sell, but that's fine. Came up a little more, found a seller, digested that. Only took 5 minutes before we ate these 2 top wicks. Slammed it out here. We have 2 more top wicks. 5-minute flag, already trying to push higher. Until it stops doing that, it can keep going. That being said, depending on your size, there's a few ways to manage risk. A 1-minute candle close over the 20 or the 9 moving average, that blue there, that would be the first sign of an algorithmic crack. The algorithm saying, I'm not buying it off this anymore. That being said, such a powerful move like this, it hasn't even tapped into it once. So it's riding off the 5 moving average. You don't have it on the chart, but I can tell it's right there. So very, very aggressive push up here. It doesn't look done to me. But personally, I'd put my stop under the bottom wick here of this consolidation. The idea being, we found one surge. Then we stalled until a new buyer said, nope, we're going up. As long as that buyer holds, this can hold. If you want to get a little more granular, you could also run it under this one, under this consolidation. But in general, if you'd like the company, you just want to be, responsible, let's call it. This is the safe one down here, and it's under this wick because this is where the buy restarted and pushed up higher. Really nice stuff there. Let's get a Go Sabres, Go Knicks in the chat. Let's go, Tyler.
Yeah.
And what else we got?
Mr.
Taquito.
Taquito is saying AEHL may be the next chosen one after TDIC because lots of times, we get these massive runners and small caps. They light up the small cap space. So the next one that follows, people are looking for I missed the first one. Where's the next one?
Absolutely. And you know what? I just realized I don't think I actually did mention the USAR implied move because I don't actually know it. So I'm going to pull that up right now. Give me 1 sec, guys.
And back to those challenges. I know I started saying that before. One, we've got a giveaway. The challenge is posted there in our sidebar chat. You can click on that, go in there and sign up for the free giveaway. And also, we have the challenge itself to predict the challenge for, I believe it's BABA, USAR, and what else is it? I'm flipping channels here.
Go maybe?
NBIS.
Oh, really?
NBIS by tomorrow. You got to get your prediction in by, I believe, the end of the night tonight, possibly 6 p.m. And that is to guess the print for tomorrow morning at 10 a.m.
I see. So NBIS is a morning print. I was thinking it was reporting after hours here for some reason. So at least I'm glad I
Oh,
didn't miss it.
I believe they are. I believe they are reporting after hours, but this one is a swing challenge. So basically, we're doing that one as a swing challenge. But it
Okay.
says right in the instructions right there. If you read, you click on the links and you go to those challenges to enter in the prediction price. It'll tell you right there what you're predicting it for.
Right on. Yeah. NBIS reported this morning.
This morning, yes. Yep, I'm wrong about
Okay.
that. NBIS
Huh.
BABA reported this morning. Yeah, so for those stocks that we don't get to cover, generally if they report in the morning, it's going to be a swing challenge for the next day at 10 a.m.
I see. I see. USAR, I'm expecting a move to come out here. It looks like it's trying to catch and push nicely. I'm putting a little dream order in just to fill me on a little more down here if it wants to at 25. I think that was a safe play if we are getting the push up. If not, well, I'm sized for disaster. I'm sized to buy in at 21.50. Sitting at 10 shares currently. I'll size up a little bit here if they give it to me, but the spread is very wide, and this is why you kind of got to plant your flag before things start shaking and a bacon. Let me get that implied move for y'all as well. Looking like a plus or minus $2.5 move. So the range is $23 to $28. I know somebody in here was looking for the 23 handle. I think that is very respectable. And the upside target, essentially that range break. Let me pull that back up on the daily for y'all. Mr. Mike Ryder in the chat. Mind is tired, body is tired. I like bacon. Me and you see eye to eye. I'm right there with you, brother. Right there with you. 3 for 3. I did get filled one more tranche. I'm up to 17 shares. I meant to get 20. For some reason I had a 7 order in there. Whoops. Anyways, we're doing it live, folks. Seeing if it works. If I was really nitty gritty, if I didn't want to lose 20 bucks on a potential wipeout that maybe doesn't recover, I would put a stop right under this low with the idea that, hey, pretty good chance that it gets swept out. You got to have a little conviction. Got to have a little conviction, Joe. Got to send it sometimes. So that's what we're doing.
Send it. Let it rip.
Yeah, Cisco. So Nigel mentioning coming back down a little. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. What are we seeing? We mentioned this level as an area of interest here. And see, once it loses this blue level, I said that's the algorithmic sell. This 1 minute candle tried to hold above it. So this is a 1 foot out the door, but still holding. This candle almost assuredly is going to close, especially if it closes below the wick. But as long as it closes below this blue line, algorithmically, this algo has started selling. Does that mean it's done? Not necessarily. We just got to watch and see what it does at the next one down. It's like a baton race. We hand it off from this one to the one down. If this one can't hold, we test this one. This happens on all time frames, and they all overlap. And you gotta kind of, it's like the Matrix. You see all the numbers coming down, and you just gotta lock in and figure out what the one is that's most important for the current price action. Which algorithm is it currently firing off of? So on the way up, it wasn't even this 9. It was so overdone. It was the 5. You can't even see it on here, but it would have been right there. Now we have lost. That was such a steep trend that we just sliced through this 9. And this 21 is always the equilibrium moving average. So any time frame, you put a 21 EMA on there, that is going to be the exact middle point for any Bollinger Bands, any Keltner channels, any mean reversion channels, anything like that uses this 21 EMA as the midpoint. And that's why, as we're talking, we see buyers are still there. Trend is still up. If you are trading above the yellow, trend is still up. If you're trading below the yellow, trend is down on this given time frame. So this is very, very replicable, and we can predict this with a high degree of probability. Does it always work? No, but that gives us more information. This is telling me this algo is still firing. Now we do the pinch. We decide, is this seller weaker than this buyer? Who's going to win as we bounce back and forth? You can literally see the candle bouncing back and forth. So really cool. examples of price action here and how it operates on a minute level. And it's such a great example for these earnings plays because you just have an absolute influx of volatility of all of these new buyers, of all of this new excitement. And that really helps the price action be very defined. Just like in the morning session, if you take a trade, maybe 30 minutes after the bell when there's a lot of liquidity, you'll get follow through much more than if you trade some setup that looks the same, but it's in the midday, there's low volume, it's choppy, it washes you out. So you look for that high volume and you look for what it tells you. And this is telling me Cisco is not a dead .com bubble company that's never coming back. In fact, it's sitting at all-time highs now, I do believe. Not too shabby there.
And nice little bounce, like you said, off that 21. You use a EMA, SMA, Steve, for that 21.
Always EMA for the 9 and the 21, and that's because it is going to look back with more of us. It's going to smooth out that price. I'm sorry, not smooth it out. It's going to be a little bit more granular. It's going to show more nuance than an SMA, which would smooth that out more. So because of that, I like it for the short term. I find it reacts better. Some people prefer the straight moving averages. I won't tell you you're wrong. I'm just telling you what I use. I do always use the SMA for the 50. That's my white line, and the 200, which is my purple. So those are always the SMAs because those are the higher time frame ones. And nice action there, reclaiming the 9 algo there. Now we back test, consolidate, maybe dip once more to make a higher low off this rising 21, and the trend should be intact for an attempt to push higher. Can it? Well, it depends. We got to see if there's ample liquidity. But it's like a check mark. So bears, they finally got one foot in the door here, but first real check. They said, nah, you guys are still on the back foot, buddy. Take a breather, try it tomorrow. So that's what I would say right there. Notice how we mentioned this is the really fast stop. If you're really, really, granular, maybe you're really big size, you don't want to give back $2. If you have hundreds of shares, that $2 is significant. You got to be respectful or responsible and take this stop here. But if you size what I would consider appropriately, where you can handle a little bit of volatility, then you're looking for this level to hold. And this is the one that's now protected by this 21. Now, if we lose this stop, we've lost this 21, and that's another reason that we shouldn't be in it. So just goes to show that, you see the base, it can continue, it can come down. And what I believe we're seeing is essentially the start of a higher low new base. See that? It's like rebasing up here.
You can see that.
That's how I'd kind of look at it, at least, Joe. So nice action there. Meanwhile, USAR doing the shake and the bake. Probably no earnings out yet. Let me double check.
Yeah, I have not seen earnings just yet. Although, maybe I need to refresh.
Refresh. Enhance.
But a couple of things that you were saying there, Steve, while you're looking, about managing the trade and feeling comfortable in the trade with your share size. If you are sweating it, if you're sweating your trade, you are probably in too large of size. And you want to be in a point where the stock is not controlling you, you're in control. But if the stock starts controlling you, you might be in a little bit too much size.
I concur 100%. I'm seeing the spread widen on USAR. I'm feeling spicy. I'm feeling good. Let's place some sell orders into the 27. Take a little more at the 28. Adjust this. So if we're right, this will be explosive. If we're wrong, we won't be hurt too bad. But I like what it's doing so far with the little push down into intermediary support. Maybe it runs the stops. Like we mentioned, if your size too big, you got to stop under there. If your size like me, I'm sitting here with buy orders down here. I'll buy those stops. Gimme. I like it. So that's how I'm kind of looking at it now. Also, I wanted to mention Nigel bringing up a good point on Cisco, the other amazing company with those letters. So he's saying volume's dipping to 97K. Oops. Nope, that's not what I think it's going to do. Get rid of that. Volume's dipping to 97K. So what are we seeing? Let's zoom in. Volume in this base has dipped. We have seen bigger selling than buying on this wipeout. What happened though? It got whipped up and it took less volume to push higher than it did to push it down. So that's a divergence. That's showing exactly what we're seeing as I talk. Sometimes it just works out. That's showing that buyers are winning because the shares are running out at this price. Now we look for the volume to pop because the shares are no longer available down under 114. They're just not available right now on the tape. So if you want this, you have to hit the ask. You have to raise the price up. Keep on raising it up. Raise the roof, get the new high, and then you stop out these shorts who tried to step in. And that's how price action continues to base for continuation. Will this reject and prove the example wrong? Quite possibly, but this is why we get this attempt at the very least to push up. This is real. The seller here could be more real and bigger and smack it back down, but that doesn't mean this response isn't real. This is a response to volume drying up at this price and maybe getting magnetized to a larger order up above. So cool, another great example of price mechanics on display for our boy Cisco. Joe, wasn't there a famous song by an artist called Cisco?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. It like a rap song or something.
I think it was the thong
a
song.
rap artist
I
or something.
recall.
Song.
I believe.
Cisco. Maybe
This isn't a
I
trade the
know a
pool
lot
after
of
dark
tunes,
yet.
but
Yeah, Cisco, spelled SISQO, a little apostrophe. A little different. Oh, are we waking up on USAR? Are we awakening a sleeping dragon here? I think we might be, guys. Let me keep on looking for those earnings. Cisco call starting up. Thanks for the heads up, Bronze Hands. Unfortunately, I got too many things going on to manage all of that. I will be reviewing that tomorrow. But right now, I'm a pure price action trader. So if we do see a big red candle, we can reverse engineer it and figure out what happened. Big green candle, the same thing, right? As of now, the big move is up. It's still digesting that big move up and wanting to drift. So for me, it's a technicals trade. Under here, definitely stop out. Now I would move my secondary tighter stop to under this one. That's how I would manage this personally. I also would be trimming when we break this high because sometimes you sweep, you grab the liquidity, and then it starts to reject. So if so, you want to be taking some off the table at the very top of the range. And then if it doesn't break out, you're going, man, I sure am glad I did that. I lowered my cost basis. I can now be comfortable taking the stop out and probably making a little bit on the trade. If you don't do this, then it could be bad. We're seeing the ramp in USAR. Do we have earnings?
Yes, it looks like we do. A beat, a double beat. I think
like
is
that.
what I'm seeing. They looks like they changed their time to 4:30 p.m.
I'm trying to get in.
Revenue 5.7 million beats 3.74 million, 52%, and the EPS negative 21% estimate came in at
Beautiful.
negative 12 as a 42% beat.
Excellent, excellent. I'm going to pretend like I heard every word and not that I was watching this 1 minute candle expand here.
I missed
think
that.
I liked what I heard.
What the heck?
Yeah, man.
That's gun. I looked away.
So I hollered. I got in on the range break. We are trading above that. If I was really careful, I would protect my risk under this breakout level, assuming that the surge up is going to stick. Ideally, though, I just tranche out right at the 27 here, give myself a little bit of a wiggle room, little breathing room, and you can see on my hourly chart, it's a big old flag. And if we get the pop, it's going to pop. If not, this volume could stop us. So that's why I want to take some off the table into 27. Show me the money. Pay the trader. Come on, pay the trader. There it is. Pay the trader. All right. We tranched out a little bit. 2 for 2 on earnings, guys. We're on fire here. Let's go.
Good job, Steve.
All right. And you know what? This one is a little bit harder, but I am happy with how I positioned here. I was watching this low of the day. I was watching the 25 handle as a whole. And wow, I like that. This looks like it still wants to go. But there is a small seller here like we expected. Top of the range. So now, what's the name of the game? We have a wick. We have a wick to sweep right there. Nigel mentioning in chat, we have high a day on Cisco as well, doing exactly what I talked about. And see, you trim there, just in case there's a big red stick. But so far, it looks like we want to ramp. And this is an absolute smash beat on earnings, it does seem, or at least the response to it. So, USAR, we added on the chase. This is a breakout chase trade. Can't go full size right there. Can't get too crazy. So therefore, I have to take some out at the logical next step. And just like we talked about with Cisco, sometimes it does this. You end up top wicking and it comes back down. If I was still in the full position, I might be a little more nervous. What I could do now, if I was feeling extra spicy, and you know what I am I could put the buy order right back on the high of the day there, assuming that it backtests, catches, and pushes up again. Looks like I get filled. Oh, not quite, but this is where I'd want to see this bottom wick forming. So price action is acting correct so far. And again, I'm not betting the farm here. I'm still very small. I'm sitting at 22 shares. Nothing to write home about. But yeah, not too shabby. Bronze Hand saying, unfortunately, my calls are locked till tomorrow for Cisco. Right, so you can't sell right now. That is the one downside. That being said, I think you're going to make a handy little bucket of money here. Congratulations on being long Cisco. Those 100 calls just printed. And that's where that flow can help. Talk saying USAR pops, and I'm adding to MP and REMX. I love that. So MP is going to be the blue chip, in my opinion, of the space. Highest quality with most contracts. They are a very good company. Charts looks very good too on MP. I love that one. I own a few shares in my Roth that I just don't look at because I know someday I'll sell them for a lot higher. MP is great. If you want to play it a little more diversified, you can get full exposure to the sector with REMX. So as usual, great call outs by Talk. If USAR pops, the sector should follow. Good stuff. What else we got? We got Tengu in the chat. Tengu in the chat saying Nebius 1000 on NBIS. Is that possible? I don't know. Let's take a look. Isn't it trading like 100, 200? 200? 5x, is it possible? Anything's possible with the power of friendship. Let's look at a high time frame chart though. Man, what a chart. Beautiful, beautiful chart. Anyways, where can it go? Great question. Let's find out. We take our fib from the opening price to the top of the flag. This big parabolic move from $40 to 140 off the amazing deal they got with NVIDIA, I believe is what sent it out to the stratosphere there. What did it do after that? It came back to the 50%. Guys, this is technical precision here. See that? 50% retrace of this range gave you once, twice, 3 times in 4 months a chance to get in at the perfect level here. $80 is the level. Beautiful, beautiful price action there. It's holding that neatly because they said this move, it's crazy strong. There's always going to be mean reversion short term. It can't go up forever, even if it should. This news, I remember doing some napkin math, and I recall fair value being like 200 to 250 based on this news months and months and months ago. What did it do? It gave half of that move back. Everybody was despondent saying, oh, the play is dead. Oh, these stocks are never going higher. I can't tell you how many times I've heard that. And I've only been doing this 7 years. So keep an eye on these really strong movers as they consolidate. This is actually really what you want to see. Beautiful tightening and consolidation in the middle point after a 50% pullback. So where can it go? Well, it has to smash through the 127 fib to get to the next big extension levels. This is the level where it could reject. You see it wicked up pretty close before selling off quite severely. And not crazy severely, but that's a 17% sell-off. Felt bad if you were in options, that's for sure. So what did it really do? It came back to backtest previous range high. Boom. What did it do this month? It opened there, never looked back. Surged straight through this on the earnings here. That's exactly what you want to see. You got high volume to punch it through. What does it do? Where does it stop? Look at that fib. Look at that precision. The 1.61 fib. That is going to be your number one target once you break the 127. What do? I mean, come on. $2, fine. It's not perfect. This one overshot by what? $3? Not perfect, but pretty damn close. So these fibs, you got to look at these. So next target, if it can go above 220, we are looking at 270. 270 would be the entire measured move. 267. I apologize for saying those letters, but that is the level. And that is what we would be looking at for the next move up. Can it get to 1,000? Yes. Do I think it will? I don't know. I think it'll get to 270, and then I bet it bases out and starts to move higher eventually. I am very bullish on all of these AI data center plays. I'm bullish on the whole AI infrastructure sector, and I'm bullish because everybody's so damn bearish, calling it a bubble, saying this isn't sustainable. If this was a 1-minute chart, I'd feel really good here. I wouldn't feel like, oh my God, it's the top, I need to get out, you know? So the trade's working and it's breaking out. Just starting to break out. Let's send it. That's what I think.
It's a beautiful chart pattern too. I mean, I look for this all the time, and where it comes back, like a 50% retracement, or wherever too, and it starts to base and build that solid foundation. Once it starts to break to the upside even just a little bit, I mean, you've got some risk, like very tight risk there. That's easy. It's not horrible to go ahead and take some shares and look for that break of the downtrend to the upside.
No doubt. And just to illustrate what Joe's saying here, you buy right off the 50. Personally, I would put a stop under the next fib down like this, which is very generous. That's 20%. I understand. If you don't want to stop there, that's fine. You can put it right under a day where it comes here and then reclaims. You can get in right on the reclaim at 78. You can put your stop under that low a day.
Mhm.
You might get stop hunted a few times, but if you stick with this, one of them will very likely go crazy. You're risking 2, 3, 5% for the chance to make up to the first target 177%. That puts you at 25 risk to reward. I'd take that bet. You only have to be right 1 in 25 times. Not too shabby. Pretty cool there. By the way, yeah, I'm reading the comments here. CRML talk. How do you know that? Yeah, I do have some CRML. Not a big position at all. I don't have a big position in anything, guys. I'm young, and I lived a lot in my 20s, so don't have a huge bankroll to play with, but it's getting bigger every year, baby, and yours could too if you trade with a system. So CRML here. My small shares Steve position is sitting at, I don't know, about one of these days off the 9, somewhere around 1092 or something. I saw the breakout. I wanted more critical minerals. I'm break even. I think eventually I'll be right. I think, honestly, it comes back and fills this gap unless there's really good news. Speaking of which, what's USAR doing? Nothing? Huh, that's fine. So, this is why. That's why we trim there. I am a little red on my ad. Definitely glad I took this momentum scalp off. A little red on the ad. Basically break even on the position. So nothing to write home about at all. I would like to see this continue into tomorrow is what I'd really be playing for, honestly. Or on the earnings call, it's going to give a massive red candle and stop me out probably. I don't know. We'll see. I still want. If this thing does drop here, I might be upset in a fun sense of like, oh, I lost the game. But I'd be really happy because I'm going to be switching over to my Roth and buying some shares down here. And in fact, I am going to put an order in just in case. Although I do see this big bottom wick. So that's where I'm saying I don't expect it to dump down there now. It stabilized on the call. The call was, on the print. The print was good. As long as the call isn't atrocious, and I don't know what they'd say, it would be that bad. Have to be major headwinds or delays in probably their Brazil, that transitional cash flow from that new acquisition. Otherwise, I don't know. Looks good to me. What do you think, Joe?
Yeah, I just it just it's probably less about the EPS and all that, and just more about can they prove that they're becoming a real Western rare earth supply chain leader.
Absolutely, just like my boy LAC. That's the lithium equivalent. It's got a little bit of money from the government. The government bought some shares, and I think that they are going to be a great play in a few years. I'm not sure when the bottle rocket's going to set off, but they own the largest, I believe the single largest lithium mine in the Western Hemisphere. I do believe. I could be mistaken on that. But either way, they're essentially a very good bet on domestic lithium production. Or at least, lithium production that we don't have to rely on anybody else for. So I still like that one a lot. But it's taken its sweet darn time while some of the other ones are pushing up really nicely. So that's the price you pay when you're trading in. Can I say shitco's? Shitco's. Because that's what they are. These are pre-revenue, very speculative plays. My favorite, but you gotta know what you're getting into, right?
Yeah.
USAR is not MP. MP is one that you throw in your Roth and you don't really worry about it because they're not going to go bankrupt. I don't think USAR is either, but it could trade back to something insanely low. $10 it was sitting at for a while, and you just gotta have a long-term horizon for that. So definitely a little bit of a tough. What was I saying? I don't know. Talk mentioned Albemarle. God, you're giving me the hardest things to say. ALB. We're calling it ALB. I call it ALB because I can't say that word. I can barely say Marlboro. Marlboro.
Marlboro.
That one messes with my brain. I feel like there's too many letters in there. Something ain't right. Something ain't right, Joe. Cisco's still hanging out, trading sideways. Nice and easy.
Yeah.
USAR literally pinned to the close. Okay. That's what I get for buying the breakout.
Another one with the earnings, Docs. They kind of came off the cliff a little bit. I think they another one of the earnings after close. They beat on. It looks like they were flat on EPS and beat on revenue, but pulling back.
You guys want to see a dead body? That's an ugly chart.
Yeah.
That's a backbreaker candle. Trying to get up over these moving averages. Bottom wick, bottom wick, bottom wick. So much hope, so much hope. Nope.
Yeah. Ouch.
Hey, away she goes, away she goes. So yeah, Doc's a little less successful. I still believe in the USAR. I still believe that we could curl up on the call because it's all about the call, right? And Joe, as you were saying, who cares about the earnings per share on a company that's either a 10x or a 0? You know, we want to see that narrative. Give me that juice. Show me what's around the corner. And that's what's going to move this thing. Right now, we saw a washout, but very minor, just to 25, where there's a lot of volume. We saw the surge showing an impulse move to move higher. Now it's a matter of whether the shorts that stepped in are going to back off on good earnings. Good earnings there. I think they're good earnings. I haven't read everything yet, you know. It's easy to get caught in the price action. Oh, double beat, big candle, they must be good. But first cursory glance does seem pretty good. Looks like just looking at some notes here. We have, I mean, most of the stuff we already talked about. We can review it again, but here's a CEO statement. First quarter of 2026 was a period of fundamental transformation for our USA Rare Earth, defined by the successful execution of our 1.5 billion PIPE financing and the announcement of an agreement for the 100% economic consolidation of our Round Top project. That is the one that's set to break ground in 2028. That's from Barbara Humpton, CEO of USA Rare Earth. So nice little tag on that double beat. Massive double beat, by the way. We're talking 47.83 in earnings per share and a 57% beat in revenue. Sure, it's not what moves the stock, but it doesn't hurt. Definitely doesn't hurt. And I'm still seeing the incentive to buy this. See, the spread's this wide, but they're filling at ask. They're filling up at 26, even though the midpoint, 20 cents below that. Does that mean we should tag back in? Does that mean I cursed it with this top wick? Quite possibly. I'm going to stick with my position here. I'm going to let it cook. Nice. And I'm getting a bunch of alerts going off on my thinkorswim there. I'm not sure what that was, but that's a tomorrow problem. Meanwhile, Cisco doing the dance, grinding higher, but trying. So here now we're at the point where the trend is tired. The 1 minute algorithm trend is tired. Does that mean it's done? No, not necessarily, but you get one test of the 9. The 9 starts to flatten. We are surfing it. You see it's still being bought under it. This algo is intact, but we are starting to say that, hey, could be the start of a little rising wedge type action, basically a pattern that's unsustainable and needs resolution. Do these always break down? No, about 60% of the time they do. 40% of the time they actually scream to the upside and slam those bears, making them forcing them to get out of their position. So still holding these, but the moving averages are flattening now, and I could see where this could need a liquidity grab down to maybe 113, where a lot of that volume came in. Why is that volume at 113? Well, that's the pivot where we found the juice to push further. That's where the stop was. So now at this point, if I was still in this trade, I would be moving my stop up under this swing low. That's I'm getting tighter with the stops because you see this pattern's getting tighter too. And when it breaks, it's either going to break up strong, great, I'm in, or it's going to break down hard, and I want to be able to get out relatively early and not wait for that 113 because, hey, maybe I want to buy it when it rebases down here. That's an option too. But in general, trend flattening, you need to see the volume consolidate very tightly. This is actually not bad, but then we need to see the shares basically run out at this price and see the volume carry us on up. And we've gone past the exceeded move, past the measured move. So you can always entertain the possibility of, hey, maybe it needs to take a breather, just like most of these stocks do at some point. So that's what I'm kind of looking at here. We got Kush in the chat. ONDS, what's the target?
Yeah, ONDS.
15. I'll trim at 15. I'll sell more at 20. I'll hold some forever. That's what I'm doing. Let's look at the chart. That's so optimistic, you say. Yes, that's why I buy it, because I like it. Let's look at ONDS. Excellent small cap ENVX shitco that is turning the corner. It is becoming a good company. I swear to gosh, I really do believe it. I really do believe it. Eric Brock is an amazing CEO, and he is executing left, right, and center. Their acquisitions put them in a position for vertical integration in all the spaces they're looking for. I think they're a great play. I think they're a great company, and I think that the Wall Street executives just don't know it yet. I'm kidding. Actually, the institutional investment has been going up significantly ever since it dropped 50% from 15 peak all the way back down to its base at $8 to $9. I started a position again, maybe here, somewhere here around 9.50 is my average. Got in it a little under 9, added a little over 9, added a little more, a little over 9, and then got smoked. I don't care. It's a long-term holding. Eventually it'll work. I truly believe, and if not, I will go down with this ship because it's not going to kill me either way, and the upside is absolutely worth it. Because it's a $9 stock. I think it's going to be a $30 to $50 stock in a couple years. I don't care if it goes to zero. That's fine. I can lose 0.5% on my port, 1% on my port. That's fine. For the chance to get 3 or 4% just hanging out in a company that I love, yeah, I'm all in. No, I'm not all in. I can't say that, but yeah. Metaphorically, I'm all in with 1% of my port. How about that?
Yeah.
So I see bottom wicks here. This is a Josh Classic. We have the big breakout level, and it forms this zone. Where is it forming the zone? Essentially, this is called a bullish order block for all the ICT folks. We push up, price pushes down, price reclaims, and you can see what happens when it reclaims. Breaks the range, massive breakout. Massive breakout, beautiful stuff. What happens? It was such an explosive breakout that it left holes in the tape that needed to be refilled. And we saw each one of them fill and get a bounce. We come down, we fill this, bounce. We come down, we fill this, bounce. We come down, we fill this, almost in a bounce. And then has to come all the way down to wipe this out. But where does it hold? It holds that exact bullish order block, and that becomes the zone where you look to buy it. Any buys into this bullish order block returned a nice profit pretty quickly. We are back here, and now we're seeing more consolidation. We also have the downtrend line that we cracked convincingly. To me, I didn't sell. Wish I did. Whatever. Comes back down, gives me a 20% discount. I'm looking to accumulate more once I get the signal. What's the signal, you may ask, Joe? Not all at once, guys. No, sorry.
Yes. What is the signal, Steve?
Sorry, I feel bad. I just talk to myself so much, and I'm like, this is my only time with Joe. I want to have a conversation with you.
There we go. Come on, buddy.
come on. Right, what am I doing? I'm yapping too much. So, Joe, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bottom wicks into this high time frame zone. I'm also seeing this volume shelf. This is where it falls off. So this is like really important that it's holding here. Otherwise, it can slide down the mountain back to 8 and hopefully hold 8. Otherwise, to the depths of hell we go. But what I'm seeing looks like a really sharp back test of this downtrend line break. That's kind of what I'm seeing here. Maybe we add one of these too. And we get consolidated wedge on top of a much larger wedge. I like patterns on top of patterns. So I'm bullish.
Yeah. No, I like this $8 level on this thing. Hold of the $8 level or so, and let's go.
All right, let's go. Let's see. Sorry, just checking in on comments. It is mostly Mike. Good to see you, brother. As always. Let me scroll up half an hour and find somebody else. All right, yeah. Comments coming down a little bit. That's okay, guys. What do you want to talk about? Come on in with some chat ideas, some chart ideas. We can talk about it. We can go over some charts here.
Yeah, heck yeah.
A few minutes. But we are, I guess, just about getting close to. Oh, are we going another half hour? I'd be super down. Let me ask. Hey, you should be behind the scenes.
Yeah, Taquito calling out DXF there.
DXF.
Another small capper making the move.
Look at that. DXF, we have Dungeon Financial Holdings. That sounds like something I can trust.
Looks like a China play.
It's under $1 too. Yeah, I can trust this. Oh, it's no longer under $1. Hold on. $2 as of 5 minutes ago. Okay, I don't know what this is. I guess Chinese plays are squeezing with Baba. So keep that on your watch list for the rest of this week, guys. We can whip out all the old, what is it? The Q is QO or Q? What was that crazy Chinese one There's some really wild ones. I don't know what the heck to do with this. I can't touch it, but it sure looks strong. Buy one share for fun. Buy one share for fun. Let's do it.
Sure.
I'm in. I hope I didn't kill this play for somebody. DXF, definitely a powerhouse there, looking very strong. Hope you're in, Taquito. I'm seeing a little ramping on USAR, and I'd like to size in a little. I like this type of look, pushing up into a base. If it fills, comes back into a moving average on a wick down, looking good. Meanwhile, Cisco looking like heavy here, and hey, while we're on stream, why not show what we're talking about? We'll try to short one share there. Just showing the process. If you want earnings, check out LESL. That's a name I haven't heard in literally 7 years. LESL, Leslie the Pool chemical company. I gotta look. So way back in the before times, Joe, back when your boy Steve was a Redditor, when I was just trading on Reddit with all those guys, this one was a Wall Street Bet squeeze play by actually a personal friend. Shout out Velo if you're in the chat. You're definitely not. Haven't heard from him in 5 years probably after this crazy squeeze play. But this was all over Wall Street Bets for a while, and it is not a very good company. We were trading at around 20, I believe. Now it's down to 150. So that's pretty wild to see just in that. But it's a nice little pennant here and starting to push on out of earnings. This one has potential to see a nice move and break up to 240 if it can hold the 183 to 190 kind of level I'm looking at here. I'd like to see these big bars become support if I was a bull here. But 230, it already did wick up all the way here. So yeah, juice probably relatively squeezed. You can consider it a back test, essentially what the chart has done. Gone like that. So it's back testing this horizontal level that we can see right there, and it is starting to try to catch there. Starting to try to catch. So we can take a look at that. Okay, I did get filled on one share short on Cisco here, just for the learning, because I do think this is a little bit of a breakdown. We see the moving averages getting lost. You also see that kind of crossover of the blue about to overtake that yellow. So for me, logically, that's all I'd really expect. 115. Potential down to 113. That's the bigger node. So if we get a secondary place to add, like right here off the curling moving averages, I'll add one more and they'll take that one off down at the 115 or 113. Meanwhile, USAR still hanging out, still won't fill me even at the top there. So I think that there's some decent buying pressure for this guy here. We'll see. We'll see. Not too bad of a look there. Give me 1 sec here.
Yep. Looks like we got another one in there, SNAL, but it's a sub-dollar, another sub-dollar play. Came from 52 cents back up to $1, pulled back just under $1. It's trying to push. Maybe we can see $1.20 on that.
And I'm sorry, what ticker is this again?
This is SNAL.
SNAL.
Yeah.
Snail. Snail.
Yeah.
It's snail. That's I always like anthropomorphizing ticker. Wait, is it anthropomorphizing if I make them animals? If I was gonna call this snail even if it wasn't, but it's snail. So big pop here from 50 cents up to $1. Good for a double, and looks like it has room potentially. Watch that 150 level for sure. Also intermediary level at 122. I think that's of interest there. That previous wick and rejection, and currently trading right over the base, which makes sense, right at $1. So not too bad. You can play this on a pop, and you can play the back test of $1, I do believe. But this is not my wheelhouse, Joe. Do you have any opinion? You're more of a small capper than me. How would you touch this thing if it's squeezing back through $1?
If it's squeezing back through $1, I would have pulled the trigger on the pullback. I mean, I am a VWAP player, so I would have been looking for the VWAP to test and hold, and probably stop at 84, 80, maybe 83.50 or something like that.
83.50. Okay.
Push through $1 if it can keep its momentum going. I'd be looking for a $1.20 move.
Love it.
$1.20, $1.30. That's Generally,
So
that's where I see the sub pennies go. But then again, we're we're getting a lot of crazy runners.
yeah,
With TDIC, today, and then also DXF. I mean, that's what a great move there too. It's probably that whole mindset of the traders going from one stock to the next to the it's the what's the next mover. Um, that's coming, and so traders miss the first one, they want to get the second one. But
yeah,
sometimes when that happens, it gets the next one gets weaker or
yeah.
weaker and weaker. So that's the only thing that would I'd probably keep my stop tight.
Gotcha. Well, I ask because I'm in for 10 shares off of a wick back into that $1 level. Moving averages are catching up, so it's a valid setup for me. Where I will put my stop is, well, first I'll make sure it's 24 hours. Okay, yes. And I think that you have the right idea putting it at just about 83, 84. And essentially the plan there is it's the same kind of look for Cisco. So Joe, on Cisco, I was talking about how it had that big surge up to like past 110, just like here. And then it came back down and held the moving average, the 9, and then it found that extension. When it did that, it created these bottom wicks right here, which in my book should be resting support because that's the support that popped it into a new range. It had already moved 100%, and yet a buyer came in here and said, no, give me 20% more, and now we base for a bigger move. So for me, that's enough to get in off the moving averages. I consider this in play. We are green on the trade. Looking good so far. I'm in a whole 10 shares. I'm up 10 cents. That does not cover the fee. So this is just for you guys, but it'll be fun. I should play these with a little more size, I guess. I should put my money where my mouth is, huh, Joe?
Yeah, that's all
I
right.
can risk
No, that's
20
all right.
bucks. 20 bucks on a trade the pool account. Let's do that. If it gives us the look back, I'm adding 90 shares to bring us up to 100 and make it worth our while. And by the way, Joe, this is fun. I am having a blast. We are past the hour mark, but I'm going to go
Oh,
another half hour. You do not have to. You're totally welcome to hop out because you're the man for hopping in at all. I'm just having a good time, and I see people still in the chat, so why not give the
oh,
people what they
thanks,
want?
man. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll hang out here with you. Heck yeah.
cool, awesome. Yeah, think of it just, yeah, we're just chilling. We're just hanging out, watching some stocks, doing a little trading. Stop there, risking 20 bucks. That's fine. We don't need to look at it right now. Meanwhile, Cisco, I am wrong on this. Look how strong it is. All right, getting out of that before I lose more than $1. Good example here of how a strong stock can continue to be strong. Let's see where I made the mistake. So this was a sell signal for me in the backtest in the moving average. Honestly, I still like this. I still like this too. This was just a surging reclaim, and it just broke this potential pattern that we were seeing. And you know what? That happens maybe 30, 40% of the time on any pattern. No pattern is going to hit much higher than 70%, unless it's like you're stacking confluences on top of each other, which is a different thing. So stop over that one candle, very, very likely to hit. And that's what you get for trying to short strength without letting the big first crack happen. This was a small crack, but obviously they can be reverted quite quickly. Joe, I know you have some good, you probably have something to say on those big cracks on a big move up. Like, when is it time to actually take that move short? Do you have anything there?
Oh, yeah. I mean, a lot of people will say, looking for stocks that are, overextended. When it comes to the large caps, though, I mean, you really got to be looking for some major moves, like three days or more in a row. It's
Gotcha.
really got to be pushing up, and you'd be looking for that. A lot of people will say they're looking for that first red day, setup in stocks like that. Uh, Car was one of them. Obviously, we talked enough about that one. But what was the other one? AEHR, was that it?
Oh
Um,
man, Air is an amazing company. I was trading that in the $4 to $20 range, and it's broke 100. Congratulations, Bulls! Incredible
yeah.
move.
So, but if these are real companies too. I mean,
Yeah,
you got to
right.
expect them to. They're built to continue to grow their company, their product, their revenue, everything. That's their whole purpose. So, shorting them, is a short term play
Love it, love it.
generally.
I I have one ad one add level at snail in case it wipes out back to the previous breakout level. That's an area I'd be interested in it. I've been kind of watching and observing some of these small cap plays, trying to do like brother Josh, like my one of my mentors here in the small cap space, and he likes buying where I often get stopped out on these. And I'm starting to learn that if I just put a buy order there and give my stop a little more room, size a little smaller, and expect this kind of action, I can feel a lot better and actually get out of a lot of the trades that I was getting stopped out of for a profit. Comes down and it's scary at first, but it fills you. You still have your protective stop, it's just lower, and then it whips back up. Meanwhile, I'd be punching air going, hey, come on, man. Come on, man. They took my shares. Now it's going the right way. So that's one way that I can kind of avoid that. Trying to get filled on USAR as well. Just a little ad off the 9-minute moving average as it starts to curl up. This one looks very good to me. Very good to me. I did not get filled there either, unfortunately, but that's okay. I am still in the Cisco short. I put the stop over the high because, hey, if I'm already down a little bit, it's got to prove it to me. Go out the top, and then I'll get out. That's fine. It still can off this 9-minute moving average, but just showing that, hey, maybe there is still a seller here. Still too early to say there, but keeping it on the radar. Keeping it on that radar. USAR is my favorite, though, for sure. Still really liking this for push up, on, and out. And that's where I'm at.
Yeah, that's looking good, Steve.
Showtime's feeling it. Emojis, very nice, sir. Welcome to have you.
Like this sidebar chat, we got some good comments in there. Taquito brought up too. This is kind of an important part too. SNAL, U.S. company versus DXF
China.
and TDIC China. So probabilities of who's going to squeeze harder. I'd put my money on the China plays, obviously, but you never know. Another thing, past chart history. When you look at SNAL, its past chart history. It has had, excuse me, has had a lot of pops and drops. So for it to get up, it would have to sustain, hold up here. For tomorrow, I would still be looking for it to hold this 80 cent range, 84 cent range. If it's going to be pulling back and be a contender tomorrow, or if it continues to die off, it'll die off, from that 200 SMA on the daily chart.
If it dies, it dies.
Yeah, if it dies, it dies. But does it have the potential to get to to run past that? Well, it's got to get past one, hold, and start pushing that 120. We've got probably a level there, and another level at. I'm just kind of going back on a daily chart, too.
Thought I lost you there.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's just got to push past these levels of holding one, and then it's got a lot to get through. It definitely does have a lot to get through, but you never know. Let's see what it does.
Let's see. So yeah, hold on a sec. I do want to mention this. You got a little sidebar going on about food services. They are in a rough place, and I don't think they're investable personally. I know a lot of value investors are looking around, poking around in the dumpster, going, "Hey, can I buy this?" And they ask me, and I say, "I'm not buying that. That's all I know. That's all I know." So, sorry, got distracted by a ping again. Essentially, so when the market was really scared and pricing and all this geopolitical turmoil, all this just straight up political turmoil. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but US politics, kind of crazy right now. So that produces a lot of risk for a market looking, forward a year, forward 2 years. And what we saw is a lot of defensive positioning and a lot of these names that are considered risk off and boring as hell. And they ended up creeping and crawling all the way up to insane valuations where I believe at one point you had like Kroger at a higher or a lower PE than, or Microsoft had a lower PE than like Kroger or something crazy like that. I forget which one it was, but it was, or maybe McDonald's. But either way, it was like, wait a second, we're pricing in more growth for food than the biggest software company in the world? What's going on here? That was a big over push to the upside. So if you like these names, I think it's going to take a while. Yeah, Josh was looking at King Mickey D's. Not a good place for your money right now in my book. So So that's what I'm thinking there, but I don't know that much about that much. I just know that my fundamental investor friends, they love just digging in the dumpster, but even them, they're like, I can't buy this. So that's got to tell us something. Portillo, we can't look at that though. PTLO, yeah, PTLO. That's a ticker I've never traded in my life. PTLO. Give me a P. Oh man. Give me a bid. That's what this thing needs. That's ugly. I mean, whenever I have to zoom out a bunch just to find out like where the hell it's coming from. Oh man, that's rough. So I know some of you are going, this is so cheap. Look at, I don't know, some metric. That doesn't look like it's done to me. That looks ugly. I see that. I see this, flat bottom breakdowns. I see it doing the same thing here. It's just stair stepping. Try and. Nope. Nope. Try and backtest. Nope. Try and. Maybe you get a backtest and nope. Looks like it just wants to straight nope right off the blue, the 9 moving average. So prior, that 21 that we always talk about, that was the sell point. This is on a monthly. These are high time frame sellers saying, I don't want to hold this for months. I don't want to be in this in the next year. If they're selling here, they're saying this double bottom from $8 up to $12 or up to $15 when this thing got aired out from, geez, way the heck higher. They're saying it's still not a good deal. I don't want to be stuck in this thing for a bunch of months, even though it's breaking out the top of the range. So that is pretty dubious, pretty ominous. And then you can't be that surprised when in the next 6 months it does that. Because that is institutions getting the heck out on a high time frame. So I don't like it. I don't like it. Got to be honest. Maybe 5 is a significant level. Maybe a big buyer steps in. Maybe, I don't know, what the heck does Portillo's even do? I don't have them over here in California, so at least I don't know what they are. So, do you have a Portillo's near you? What is that, Portillo's?
Portillo's, no.
I don't know if I sound whiter when I try to pronounce it with an accent or not. I feel like Peggy Hill speaking
Portillo.
Spanish. Tortillo. Jalapenos and...
No, I've never seen that.
Oh, okay. Never seen King of the Hill?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant you never seen King of the Hill. I was about to get on you like Josh did when I had said I hadn't watched Fifth Element. But that's just fine, Joe.
Oh, you've never seen Fifth Element?
I'll see. You want to pile on too, dude? Okay, yeah.
No.
I get it. Everybody dog pile on Steve.
I overheard you saying that before. Everybody getting down on you for that.
It's like what I'm known for now, damn near. I got filled on one more little tranche of USAR. This was off the 21 day, or 21 minute, I should say. I think it's creeping and crawling up this wall, and I would take more profits if it sweeps the wick. Can sell 10 there. And this is something I like to do too, guys. I don't get too hung up on actually selling the very top of the wick. I usually look for the main pivot that kind of instigated the sell-off. So we have... zoom in a little more. We have the big green, bought it on momentum here on the range break, this level, then got the surge, knew this was a level where there was overhang. You know, in retrospect, should have just got out of the whole thing here, waited for the equilibrium at yellow to buy back, but it's fine. Essentially, just taking a little off, added on the back test, was a little early. And you see I'm still adding up here, which is, I should have been adding down here. I wasn't looking though, That's the thing. So anyways, I still think it's good. Still holding moving averages, would still like to see it sweep up on and out. But the thing I was talking about for these 3 candles is you see the 3 of them create kind of a little pivot point there with the opens and closes. So it doesn't need to get up here because this is just little light space wicking, overshooting. And Joe, how I like to look at this is the body of a candle. And obviously, this isn't exactly true. It's rule of thumb. It's kind of just to frame it for yourself. It's like the body of the candle is the institutional volume. And then the wicks are when retail gets a little bit too FOMO-y and they're overshooting levels. They're buying up into resistance for no dang good reason other than, oh my God, look at the size of that candle. Not too unlike me down here, but I was buying a base break and I knew there was a seller here, so I did at least respect it a little. But this can act in multiple ways. You can get trapped up here if you're long and you're too big in size, and then you have to puke it down here to somebody who's patient, waiting at the equilibrium, and they buy your shares at a discount, and it equalizes back on up because the drift is up overall. I hope. We'll see. But that's kind of the scenario that I'm looking at on that bad boy there. Still liking it. Did get the stop out on Cisco. No harm, no foul there. I think we are break even now. We lost $2, $3, $5 on this, made $5 on the one share. But hey, we learned a little something, right? Hopefully.
Heck yeah, that was good. Good explanation, Steve. Like that.
Awesome. And one other way you can look at it, just because I'm kind of like generalizing concepts, and I want to be clear when I'm saying like this wick doesn't matter. It's just retail. It could very well be an institution that's algo isn't dialed in well enough, or it could just be somebody, I don't know, just overshoot that isn't just pure speculation. It could just be a sign to go higher. But I'm just kind of trying to generalize concepts in the same way as when I say an order block is this was a move down to fill a large buy order here. So in effect, this move down and back up through this is an order block which represents one buyer, one large buyer. Then we draw that order block out, and what we should see is that when it's renegotiated, it's snapped up very quickly, just like this. So when I'm saying one buyer, I'm not literally saying one buyer. Sometimes maybe it would just be one very large order, but often it's just it's not the exact word anthropomorphizing. I'm turning it into like an idea that's very easy to kind of conceptualize. In the same way, like when we say, they're out to get me, they're out hunting my stops. No, they're not, but it feels like it. And it's a good way to, I don't know if it's a good way to conceptualize it. But that's my yap sesh there on that. Mostly just talking, so I don't have to look too much at this and just look back in 10 minutes and be like, oh, nice, take profit hit, good. Trade's working. But man, look at Cisco's absolute powerhouse of a strength here. See how it failed the auction down? I thought it was a good auction down and it would continue. There was my take profit order. I wasn't expecting too much, but just the absolute strength of this. It failed to move down and used the people like me. They used my shorts to juice this thing up. See, this was all people like me chasing their way out of the trade. And now they're still getting squeezed. The stubborn ones that didn't sell like I did, they're still getting squeezed. Still getting squeezed. An absolute crazy move. This is wild, guys. This is $10. 10% over the expected move. Nigel's calling out 17% from the close. Guys, if you took our entry and just held, if you traded this better than me, my entries are always going to be better than my exits because I get scared. Well, you are up how much? How much? We got to scroll down to see where we got in at. There we go, baby.
103 or 10.
Yeah.
So, wasn't that?
So if you had diamond hands, you didn't sell, you just held through this little chop, which really wasn't that hard, honestly. Should have just held the dang thing. Regardless, you're up 13, 14% and climbing. There you go, guys. Merry Christmas. And not too shabby there. Not too shabby.
Yeah.
They buying the dips all right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, they are. So this is, I really want to emphasize this because I would take this trade again. I'd take it every dang time. Just because it didn't work doesn't mean that it's a bad setup. It just means that I was wrong. All that means is that I need to recalibrate. Now I'm sure as heck not going to short this, and I'll look for pullbacks to long it because it looks like it's going to keep on going. This thing's screaming and repricing. So that earnings call must be saying all the right things. Yeah. They got their CFO going AI, infrastructure data center, and it just keeps on pumping the stock. And what can you say? This is squeezing. So I don't know what's happening on that call, but whatever they're doing, keep doing it. Love it.
Yep.
And this is just another example of how new information can break a technical setup. I bet this probably would have played out if there wasn't good things being said actively on a earnings call while we're trading it. So that always throws something else, a wrench into the works, so to speak, right? So just interesting stuff to watch there. And a real powerhouse of a move. USAR coming back just a little bit, back to our break even, but there's the buyer where it should be. So we want to see that continue to hold. Not too shabby here, guys. And yeah, Josh gets it. AI. Bronzan's saying, he's actually listened to the call. He's saying, no, they're very eloquent. It's giving trust. Yeah, absolutely. Good stuff. Let's see.
We got another small cap mover, Stack, STAK. I'm a little late on saying that one, but I saw it several minutes ago. And
Stack, STAC?
Yeah, STAK. Sorry, STAK.
Is this Stake? Are they a public company? That terrible company that I get YouTube shorts for? I hope not, because it's up 100% and doesn't look like it's done. Oh, I hate those ads. Uh, I know you guys are gamblers too. You get those too on your YouTube feed. They're just feeding me steak ads, and I don't like it. Um,
Steak
I,
ads, like Omaha steaks.
no, I'd be
You
so down for
go with
that. I
that?
could go for a good Omaha steak right now. Those are actually pretty damn good. I always thought that they were bad. Like, I was
Oh,
picturing like a
oh yeah.
Salisbury steak, like a Hungry Man. No, Omaha's I like that. We got a
No,
subscription a few
I
years
used
ago.
to do
It's
that.
good.
I used to do that deal each year too. Like
Yeah, yeah.
I
We got it
think it's a
gifted,
hundred
and I was
hundred
like,
bucks. You get a
ooh,
few, burgers in there and steaks, and
yeah. Now we're
I tell
cooking.
you,
Now it's a barbecue.
on the way up from Florida, because we just got back in last night, and so it was long drive and everything like that. But we stopped at this place in Asheville, North Carolina called Biscuit Head, and
Oh, yes.
this place is just insane. The best breakfast I think I've ever had. But I had a sausage gravy, fried chicken biscuit, and it was both chicken and sausage gravy, an egg over the biscuit, over the that, plus a fried chicken in it, plus bacon on the bottom,
Oh my
with
goodness
crumbles of
gracious,
sausage over the gravy. I mean, I was in heaven. I was in
Joe,
heaven. I
why are
didn't
you
eat the
doing
whole
this to me? Why are you doing this? I've been streaming all day. Then the stocks were
Oh,
hot. We were trading all lunch. I was jamming in, trying to get this presentation ready to go. I haven't eaten anything all day, and you're here talking about biscuits and gravy. Meanwhile,
getting
Josh is
hungry,
in the morning talking about pancakes and Fifth Element. I can't get away from it, guys. So that's my cross to bear. That's what I'll
getting
have to
hungry,
deal
man.
with. I am ravenous here, and steak is ravenous for $5. It just tagged it, wicking back just a little, but man, this is a powerhouse. Powerhouse, really nice, ramping up, and we can pull some high time frame levels if anybody's in the stake. If anybody's in the stake, wow,
Yeah, good move
holy
there.
moly! So that's what happens when you break a range, guys. The bigger the base, the bigger the space, and that is wild to see. Beautiful, beautiful price action. It's still squeezing on up. It's crazy. It's not going up that much. I'm shrinking the chart so we can see better. But look at that. So essentially, you get a massive squeeze, and then you see how you get these entries on the small cap stuff. This is a ridiculous entry. You can pull a fib on here, and it'll, before I even pull it, these wicks are going to be at the 78 fib. 78 fib right there. You wick under that, the reclaim, that is the stop loss fib. Guys, I'm gonna expand this because it's so important. So important. I'm telling you, if I do my job right, I'm gonna change my nickname from small shares Steve to I don't know, the Fib Master or something,
Mm.
because these are such a great tool that so many people don't use. So this is the concept. Don't worry about the chart behind it. In fact, we'll go like this. These are the fibs that you guys need to have in your tool. You can do this just in here in Trader Evolution. You go to settings, you go to Fibonacci, and you can add all of your levels. You can customize the colors of them as well. Here's what I do and what I recommend. You have your 0, you have your 100. There's your range. Inside this, here are the levels you need to watch. The equilibrium's most important. That's because that is our gauge of strength. If price starts here, goes up to this range, and then comes back to a 50% retrace, we want to see if buyers are ready to buy it the second it goes on sale. What do I mean by on sale? Well, we have the range, we divide it in half. This is cheap. If this range is fair value, where the market has decided it ranges between here and here, the value is somewhere in here, under the 50% is considered cheap. So if we see on the first tap that get eaten up, maybe forms a higher low, rebases like we're talking about, then it's very likely that it has the incentive. It's showing, it's tipping its hand that it wants to break this range, and this actually wasn't fair value at all. It comes up, it retests, and then it finds buyers. What usually happens is this, not this perfect back test here. Usually you get a little bit of overshoot. Let me draw that. I think I just got filled at 90 on snail, so I might get stopped out there soon. It just hit my second level of buying in. So I'm down $13, guys. They're going to can me. They're going to can me if this doesn't turn around. So pray for me and Snail there. Meanwhile, what I'd like to talk about here is this is what you see more often. Something, whoops, give me that 0.4. There it is. Something like this. So you will see a wick back into these two fibs, which are very important. So it's small letters, but it's 62, the 62, and the 78. So this forms the golden pocket, as it's called. Very often, if a stock forms a range and is going to break higher, it will retrace into this, which is considered the optimal buying area for a stock that will keep going up higher. Is it possible that you buy here and then it goes all the way down? Yes, but you're only risking, pardon me, you're only risking that much risk for this much, not this much reward, even higher for this much reward. So that's why it's optimal. If you're wrong, oh well, boohoo, no crying in the casino. If you're right, you get a maximum or a great entry on a really nice push up here, and you're not being a silly breakout trader who can get smashed. So that's why I really recommend these two fibs. And then I also want to show you one other thing. So once you have this range and it's confirmed that we're going out the top, that's where the extensions come into play. So for that, I'm actually going to flip this around to show you what it looks like out the top. Here we go, like this. So what you see, same thing. So you have the 38 and the 23 on the other side, and those are just the same as the golden pocket. Same thing, it's just, on the other side of the tape. So if you're a market maker and that you think this thing is going to stay range bound between this 0 and this 100%, well then the range forms, you come back in to this little golden pocket, you buy some, comes back up here to this golden pocket, you sell some. If at the equilibrium, after condensing the volatility, see the volatility is compressing. So if it shows a strong incentive to buy off that 50, then maybe the market maker is actually long here for the big push up. But in general, they're just buying when it's on sale in this golden pocket, selling when it's on this sale, or when it's a little bit overextended in this golden pocket, and they're using that, they're pocketing the difference to basically provide liquidity for you and me to just get in whenever we want. So that's what I wanted to say there. Once you do get confirmation that it's breaking out the top, you have 3 levels that are really important. First off, the 127 fib. This is the first level of major resistance from a Fibonacci extensions perspective where sellers can step in. If sellers are going to step in and do a failed breakout over this 100% point, over this swing high, it'll look like this. Oops. And then it will come on back down and probably start stair-stepping down, moving averages, then make another decision down here. If it's ready to go, then you could say, okay, it's a breakout in a back test, and then it could rebase and push up higher. It's still on the table, but this is a seller that you need to watch for. So the other thing that it can do is it can say, hey, we got a good catalyst, a good result. There's just more buyers than sellers. It can be as simple as that. Then you can get the big breakout smashing through this. Often it will back test and then go for the bigger targets of the 1.6. That's your first major target for any range break. And then the next one is the 200%. And that's what we call a measured move of the size of this base. And this is very, very reliable in terms of just like, hey, I'm in a stock, it's trading into blue skies. Where the hell do I sell? Well, take some off at the 127, take some off at the 161, probably most of the position, leave a runner for the 200, and you will be good to go. Whoops. So thanks for coming to my TED Talk about fibs. I know some of you are just here for earnings, but hey, I'm going to sneak in. I'm going to make you eat your veggies too. I'm going to teach you something while you're here. And that is what I got. And it's already 5:30 here, Joe. This just flew.
Good stuff.
Man,
Good
oh man.
stuff, Steve. And thanks everybody. I know we pulled a little late one here, going past the 5 o'clock to 5:30, but just a quick reminder, about those giveaways that we do. Be sure to look out for those links when we post them. We've got several giveaways that we're doing at the current time, and then we also have some challenges where you predict the price of the stock. So be sure to look for those things. Also, our Discord with Trade the Pool, our Discord and Trade the Pool. Be sure to come on over and check out our earnings channel. Money Mitch has been putting together some amazing data and presentations, and we have those in there for you, so you can check them out. Pull the PDF and take a look at it and go through it yourself. So don't hesitate to do that when you get a chance.
Absolutely, guys. All right, they rated the stop on Cisco, tried to squeeze it up. Now I'm assuming the call is over and pressure release is coming off. If you're feeling spicy, you could try to short this down to 115, 113. I'm not. I learned my lesson. Anyways, somebody is asking, before we head out here, what are they saying on this damn call? Why is it going up? Did they say anything substantial? Did it move 5% more up after hours? Well, what I'm seeing is a re-rate. I'm seeing them being re-rated and getting a multiple expansion for AI. So I think it can keep going. I do not want to call a top and say this AI infrastructure stock that's going to be essential for the next 5 years is too pricey. I'm not going to be the one to do that. I don't know how to model that. All I know is the market is eating this stuff up, and I don't want to stand in the way. I want to tag in on any of these where I can. So Cisco, a little bit extended, but maybe it gives us a post-earnings gap setup that we can watch for next week. That's what I'd say there. Definitely wait for a technical sign of a crack before you short this, and I wouldn't expect too much. I'd be looking at shorting some of the other parabolic movers that have had a little more time to hang out. Maybe the Intels, maybe the AMDs. I don't know. Do I want to short semis? That's scary too. But I'm just saying, if I'm looking for overextended things, that and memory eventually. I'm still scalping memory long every day, but eventually I'm waiting for it to get aired the heck out. It just might be in a year or two. That's the thing. Or next week, but who's to say? Either way, you will find us trading it live here on Trade the Pool, guys. So thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. I'm seeing a lot of new people here, and that means a lot. Really quick, last questions here. James, you're getting in at the buzzer. I saw you saying BBAI sideways for 9 days. Why? To punish you in particular. Dude, of course. If you sell, it'll go up. If you hold, it'll go down. That's how it works. I don't make the rules. I'm sorry. Last thing here. What about Poet? Very interesting name. Compelling narrative. Absolutely terrible CFO. Guy couldn't keep his mouth shut about an NDA on a podcast. Tanked his own stock 40%. Market's eating it up. I bet he is wiping the sweat off his brow saying, oh, thank goodness gracious. Probably just another great opportunity to get long in a small cap photonics play with a lot of potential if it does get big contracts. Thing is, they just lost a big one because they couldn't keep their mouth shut. So that's risk premium being priced in on that massive pullback. Still in the base, technically still sound. It's a tough one because I don't know what the heck is going on behind closed doors over at Poet. But it's an interesting one for sure. All right, guys, I'm going to stop yapping. Joe, thanks so much for being on. I really appreciate you hanging out, showing up, and just vibing with me.
Absolutely, Steve.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. On that note, guys, we're going to wrap it up. But remember, tune in to the morning stream. See if you won that challenge. I hope you guys are in. I hope you guys win. Yeah. I hope each and every one of you wins. And if you keep trying, you probably will, because we ain't stopping. We're going to keep on giving stuff away. So,
and don't forget, call-in show tomorrow. Call-in show. So we have a call-in show at 12. It goes off right at 12 noon. After the stream in the morning, so be sure to look for that. And I know Chris in the chat was saying, "Oh, Joe's sending me a book." So when you are a member of our TTP Discord, Trade the Pool Discord, and if you are, joining in and then calling in from the Discord, we send you a free Funded Trader Secret Sauce book.
Wait.
Yes. This book right there that Steve's holding up, it's great, chock full of great resources.
There we go. How about that production value, guys? We are leveling up here at Trade the Pool. Shout out to Ayush on the ones and twos behind the scenes. Yeah, it's really, really good stuff. It's a lot of in-depth looks at how traders on our platform succeeded. You can see the setups they take, the risk they use, their thought process, and it's free. How about that? Free $99, our favorite price, Joe.
Heck yeah.
Love it. Love it. All right, guys, I could keep talking all day, but hey, I'm going to be back tomorrow. Like you said, call-in show. We got great stuff in the morning. Big Money Mitch, Michael Noss, I believe Airplane Jane in the house as well. So be sure to stay tuned, guys. It's all coming at you live here on Trade the Pool. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good one, Steve.